Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. Today we have the Insurance Office of America IOA Dealer Practice Group panel. And Ted, we've got a lot of really interesting conversation to have today.
Sarah, our great friend Paul Elliott is with us. He's been involved in and around the Fixed Ops Roundtable now for some time. What a great honor to have him here. Paul, welcome to the Fix. I never thought I'd say it. Paul, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Well, Ted and Sarah, I'm super glad to be here. I have followed the Fixed Ops Roundtable for a number of years. You and your community have taught me so much, and I'm blessed to be a part of it, and I'm very glad to be here.
Well, Paul, to kick things off for our audience that may not be familiar, could you tell us a little bit more about Insurance Office of America and IOA Dealer Practice Group?
Well, Sarah, absolutely. Can't wait to tell you about the Insurance Office of America and what I commonly refer to as IOA Dealer Practice Group. And the reason I do that, Insurance Office of America, is a mouthful. Okay, let's just be honest. IOA obviously stands for Insurance Office of America, and we have a dealer practice group here. We've got a team of people who specialize in this space. We are heavily involved in the dealership community. I would say to you and to the audience that we work with franchised dealerships, we work with independent dealerships, not only in the auto space, but also equipment dealers, equipment rental dealers, heavy truck dealers. So it's broader than just franchised auto and independent auto. And I just wanted to make sure people understand that because sometimes you'll have a dealer who has an equipment dealership with maybe a heavy truck dealership. So, we have a broad uh, variety of products. And so, very blessed to be part of this team. We have 8 members currently. We're growing. We are in the process of a merger with Navicord up in Canada, who also has a dealer practice group. We're excited about that. And, our team probably has a little over 125 years experience. I come from the direct writer background. I got my start in this industry with Century out of Stevens Point, Wisconsin. My partner, Matt, and our dealer practice leader got his start with Century as well, and they trained us well. And we love this industry. We love the people we work with.
We had a chance to meet Matt on a panel a little while back. IOA is also involved in has a lot of industries. Okay, not just automotive and some of the ones that you mentioned. Tell us a little bit more about offices that you've got, where you're located, and if a dealer would work, let's say, for an example, with a local IOA representative.
Correct. So we operate across the country. We have a little over, I think, 70 offices now.
Wow.
You may have to fact check me on that. We're adding offices, pretty frequently these days. Just really a great culture. And to your point, Ted, if a dealer out there knows a local representative or has an office close to where they operate, there's a good chance we have an office close by. And if they would like to have a more local presence, that partner would access myself or Matt or another team member who has expertise in this industry, and we would partner on that account. And we call them partners because that's what we are. We work together to support each other. My good friend Tom Klein, his book "Tuck the Octopus." I think it's chapter 27, but uh, I think there's a saying of something like the biggest room is always the room for improvement. And we all try and partner with people who have an expertise because we are never there's always room for improvement. We're never the smartest person in the room. We want to make sure we work with, maybe it's our aviation practice. If a dealer has a plane, we've got a practice group to help with that. If if I don't know, maybe maybe you have some real estate. You own a lot of real estate. Maybe we have a practice for real estate. So we very broad.
And Tom is a great resource for the industry. He keeps a lot of dealers out of trouble and aware of what to be aware of. Okay, so a great shout out to him and understand how all that works. So important, Sarah.
It is, Ted and Paul. These pieces, dealerships, and our audience that is listening today. there's a lot of potential exposure, especially, in a very litigious society today.
Mm.
And there's a lot of different pieces that dealerships have to, stay mindful of and stay up to date about when it comes to different areas of exposure. So I'd love to get your perspective. What are some of the benefits of working with IOA Dealer Practice Group?
So I know everybody loves to talk insurance. I mean, that's just what nobody. I mean, really, to be fair, insurance is not a super fun topic for a dealer to have a conversation about. But at the end of the day, we're here to protect them. That's what we do. So first thing, we're here to protect them and help them keep their profits, help them keep their assets. We're here to help their employees, protect their employees. You know, so from that standpoint, we offer so many programs, and just to hit on a few, it's kind of like when you're maybe mentioning people. Yeah, I hate to start mentioning lines of insurance because there's so many, and we're going to leave some out. But from your liability to your management liability, which would include employment practices liability, your dealer open lot, which protects your inventory, the physical damage, the comp and collision. You've got umbrella that sits over your workers' compensation, your auto liability, your product, your general liability, which would be, um, you know, not only your premises, but also wherever your operations extend to. We have dealers now getting in the mobile service business. You need to make sure that your policy extends to wherever you're performing those services away from your premises. Um, and so there's a lot of moving parts, no pun intended, in making sure dealers are protected.
Paul, the business is changing. You just called out remote services, mobile service. You're exactly right. A lot of times now the customer is having the work performed in their own driveway or at their place of work, and dealers are adding to their, they started off with one mobile service van. Now they've got fleets out there because the customer really likes the experience of not having to go to the dealership. So you help dealers with that. You help them to avoid potential problems, litigation, and also to make sure they're compliant as well.
Absolutely. So the way I would explain it to people is, you know, car models change every year. There's always a new button, there's always a new technology, maybe it's a new design. So insurance programs change, exposures change, change is constant. And so it's something that I would just encourage, whether you're working with IOA Dealer Practice Group or your broker that you work with today, sit down and have a conversation at least once a year. And I would encourage you to do it when it's not time to make a decision or when you're purchasing. Do it off renewal date and talk about your operations, talk about things you may be getting into or you want to get into, like mobile service. We're starting to see a mobile tire service in addition to oil changes and other things. So it's constantly changing, and I would just encourage people to sit down and have those conversations so the dealer can make sure he or she is protected.
And Paul, our dealers that are listening today, this is a lot of information that they're considering as you were just expanding on all of the different points that now are happening with the customer experience and customer expectations, and then also just where their employees are located today. They could potentially be in a customer's driveway. They could be on premises. They could be driving a customer's vehicle back to their residence or some place in transit, somewhere in between. So for our dealers that really are kind of just getting started and maybe learning more about this, what are some of the ways that they can stay up to date with some of this these ever changing pieces? And do y'all provide consulting or any kind of guidance so dealers can stay on top of it?
We absolutely do. We are here. We are open to consulting on a fee basis. We don't have to work on your insurance program. You can stay with your local partner and consult with us for a fee. We will work with your broker directly. for a fee if a dealer would like for us to do that. We would work to review your policies and give, um, suggestions. We want to partner, and we're here to serve. That's what we want to do. And how a dealer chooses to engage us and allow us to serve them, we're ready, willing, and able to have that conversation.
Paul, I'm just thinking of all the different potential areas, right, where a dealer has risk, and that's the business we're in, right? There is risk in business, but as you mentioned, the business model of being a dealer is changing quite a bit. Customer expectations are changing a bit. The role of people who work in the dealerships is changing from the technicians who are now sending. The technician used to be behind a garage door. We never saw them, Paul, and now they're sending multi-point inspection videos from a phone to the customer and telling the customer what they found on the vehicle. So there are all these areas, and the dealer's got to stay compliant. And there's different laws, and there's probably a lot of low-hanging fruit that you see when you go into dealerships as well. I don't know if you want to speak to some of that, but you really help to keep the dealers on their toes.
It is compliance is all day, every day.
You know,
We actually have a carrier now that
okay.
is using AI technology, and some people are scared of AI. This is not Big Brother. When I mention this, this is simply a way for someone to use a camera system and the data provided by that camera system. So let's talk service area.
Yes,
Okay, we've got a vehicle on a rack. We're putting a tire on it. All right, so you've got the service tech reaching down, bending over with their back, and the way this works is the technology works is when that person puts themselves in a position to create, or maybe after you after you make that same movement multiple times, at some point the human body is going to break, and you're going to create a soft tissue injury. And one of the hardest things to repair is a person's back. So in this particular example, there's an air jack sitting just to the right of this technician. All they had to do is roll it out, get that tire on an air jack, lift it up where he can just put it on the vehicle instead of having to bend over and pick it up.
yes,
It's something that's simple. Or maybe you've got a parts operation and you're operating forklifts. Okay. I mean, we see all types of forklift near misses. And what this technology does is it sees it and it prompts the dealer. Because the way I would explain it is like this: I don't think there's anyone in any dealership that wants to go have a conversation with a spouse about an injury or, God forbid, a death. Those are your friends that you work with. They're your employees. You care about them. You want to protect them. And if that camera is catching that, you can prevent that loss. So, from a compliance standpoint, from a risk management standpoint, again, it just needs to be all day, every day. Because if not, your insurance costs are going to increase.
And Paul, as you're talking about this, specific with employee scenarios, I'm also envisioning, there's a lot of exposure for from a customer perspective too. I mean, there's customers, on the premises if they're wandering between places or maybe in places that they shouldn't be. But there's opportunities. It sounds like for a lot of dealerships to really take inventory of all of this and be considerate of it. And I really, Paul, I want to also get your perspective because as dealers are listening to this today, there's a lot of insurance firms out there that work with dealerships and that provide services and look at reinsurance and employee benefits and all of these pieces. But why should a dealer work with you and the IOA dealer practice group?
Yeah, so I'll try and be brief because I think there are many reasons for a dealer to work with us. Number one, I think we're creative. I think we're a little more nimble
okay,
than some of our competitors, um, and that's a big conversation to have. And I don't want to get deep down in the weeds, but one of the things we like to do is we like to start working about 3 months after a dealer's renewal, whether it be on their employee benefits, whether it be on their garage liability or garage package program, whether it be on F&I. We really want to do a deep dive into all of the segments of the business, so we know all of the business, all of the exposure. And then we come back and we figure out how to provide solutions to the dealer. Um, Again, I'm a little ADD, and when we start talking about all of the things we can do and we can provide, it's really hard for me to really focus because it is so much. And I think that, as you mentioned, there are many competitors. There are many, many, many competitors. And I'm from Georgia originally. I was born in Georgia. Uh, at my college graduation, the college graduation speaker was Truett Cathy, which is the founder of Chick-fil-A.
Yes. Yeah.
And he said it's easier to succeed than to fail by doing things the right way. And we want to present dealers with best practices. And having said that, we want the experience. We're working on creating insurance as a consultative experience. We want you to view us just like you look at your lender, at your attorney, maybe at your relationship with your manufacturer, your OEM. I mean, we're here to serve as a partner. We want to partner with people, and you know, people have different opinions. But if you're going to market every year, I think that's a bad strategy. Again, I can have a deeper conversation on that, but there's a cost to doing business. And if you're a dealer and you're giving the task to someone to go to market and they have to talk to me and
Mhm.
several direct writers and maybe another broker or two,
Yep.
hey, they've got about 40 hours tied up in meetings, which frankly may or may not produce
May or may not.
results.
Yeah. Yep. Good point. Very good point. And Paul, you know this space, you know the dealer space, you know the fixed operation space and all the pitfalls that dealers need to be aware of. What I'm thinking, Paul, is that as dealers now prepare for 2026, which is right around the corner, they're making their plans now. I'm thinking, Sarah, uh, we'd like to invite you back, Paul, and let's have this conversation. Let's bring some dealers and dealer managers in, and let's have some conversations with you. And let's open the door and let's find out some of the things that we need to be aware of, and let's have some of the dealer people ask those questions as well, because I think that'll be a great perspective. um, Paul, if our audience wants to reach out to you, get more information on IOA, what's the best way to do that? I'm sure it starts with asking a couple questions.
Sure. So, first, I mean, obviously, I think here on the screen you might see my email address. Everybody loves email these days. Um, Second, I would encourage people to go to our webpage, which is www.ioausa.com. We have a few tabs at the top of our page. I think it's maybe departments. And then, there's a tab. You tab down and you find we have these mini practice groups, and the dealer practice group is there. And what you'll find there is tons of information on who we are, the members of our team, and the list or broad spectrum of services that we provide.
Incredible stuff, Ted. It's going to be really exciting to hear more information from Paul and the IOA team as we continue the conversations.
Paul, on behalf of the Roundtable, Sarah and I want to wish you and your family and the Insurance Office of America family a happy Thanksgiving at the end of next week. And thank you for all you do to help our industry and help our dealers. And excited about what's ahead and learning more about what we all need to be aware of on the retail side.
Well, I can't wait for some turkey and dressing. So I hope wherever you all are with your family, your friends, you enjoy it. Have a great holiday and a great holiday season. And I look forward to coming back.
Yep, we'll see you in January before that big show out in Vegas. Now, are you heading out to Vegas I think it's early February this year?
We will be present in
Be there?
Vegas. Yes, sir. We will be present, and we'll try and make sure we catch up with you all, or in Georgia, y'all. We'll catch up with
Yes.
y'all.
All right. Everybody, Paul Elliott, he is risk management. He is a specialist in that area. He's with the Insurance Office of America, IOA, the Dealer Practice Group, here with us today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.